Okay, humorously, I would say Seyi Vodi is a tailor. Hunger actually pushed him to what he's doing today. If you remember the story of the talents in the Bible, when you are in your 20s, it is the time for you to lay foundation, for you to invest your time, your money, your effort. I have a better today than yesterday.
Hello everyone, this is Chuka once again. Thank you for joining us in this episode of Investment Talk with Chuka. The last episode we talked about the elementary aspect of investment. We talked about the fixed income investment where we discussed treasury bills and bonds. And then we talked about stock. Today we want to do something different, right? As a youth, you need somebody who you look up to. They call it mentor. The essence of this show is not only to talk about investment, but also to bring somebody who has people who have established themselves in their area of expertise. So they need to come in as well to discuss about their life and then tell us their stories. That way, you derive inspiration from them. God didn't just make them what they are. They are here for a reason. So without wasting much of your time, I'm extremely delighted. One of the most humble entrepreneur I've ever met. In fact, getting him to this place was just the last minute thing. He didn't plan for this, but because of the love he has for mentorship and for me personally, which I'm most grateful for, I would like to welcome Mr. Seyi Vodi. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for having me, Mr. Chuka.
Thank you for coming.
And to pick from what you just said, the love I have for you, you showed me love first. You've been supportive of the brand, and the least we could do is to reciprocate the gesture. And thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. So, can you tell us who Seyi Vodi is and what makes Seyi Vodi special?
Okay.
For those who don't know, but for us, we already know. But
okay, humorously, I would say Seyi Vodi is a tailor, and Seyi Vodi is, would I say, accidental tailor. It wasn't planned for the singular purpose of, hunger actually pushed him to what he's doing today. There was a time that I needed to buy my soap, type my CV, have stipends to run here and there. And I just bumped into certain young people that were into the art of fashion, making clothes in Aba. And I picked interest. And here we have the Seyi Vodi just axle.
Thank you so much. When you say just a tailor, you have redefined or modernized tailoring, and so it's now they've dived into being fashion design. So what inspired the growth in terms of moving from being a tailor to where you are now as a household name, not only in Africa but in the world?
Okay. By and large, I would say the desire for growth. Now, you talked about investment. Investment is a process, action of investing money and time into a venture. It can be any venture, like in banking. It can be in real estate. Like in my own case, it's fashion. And for one singular purpose, and what's that purpose? Is to make profit. And, profit upon profit has brought us thus far, brought us to this level. And there is this hunger to grow. Hunger to be able to do something against the normal. Now, when I started this business, it was more of I encounter Nigerians, big men, top government officials. They go abroad to source for their clothing. They go to countries like Egypt, if you remember that time, especially during Obasanjo's first tenure. That is 2001, 2002. A lot of capital flight, as you call it in banking, with regards to bringing in fabrics from Senegal. And I looked through it and I felt, okay, we could do this. And gradually we started with making boxer shorts. Then boxer shorts used to reign in the university. And that was, I think it was in my days that the sagging started, just to show the label Tommy Hilfiger those days. And I started making boxer shorts, and I would sell to my fellow corps members when I was serving. Then from there, I added shirts making. And gradually, we started making modern kaftan, the type you see today, the smart ones, against the normal long kaftan, long Senegalese brocade those days. It metamorphosed to so many different designs. And today, we have designers all over Nigeria, all over Africa, doing similar things, and they kept improving on what we started about 23, 24 years ago.
Oh. Wow, you talked about reinvesting. There was a quote I put up in my status, I think yesterday, and said, don't spend when your mates are spending. Because they might be spending their profits, and you are spending your principal. So basically, you have grown from being a tailor to an icon in fashion design. That is because you kept reinvesting. So what advice would you have for young people, especially people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s?
So I will give you a typical example from my own story from history. I was in my 20s then, and normally before the end of service, like few months before the end of my service year, I had my core members, the normal DVD player they used to buy then, buying DVD, buying electronics and other stuff to set up their houses, their rooms as it were then to start. And I looked at them, and that same money I could have used to buy the same thing, I took it to Aba and I bought, I think it was about 3,600, and because that was the stipend, the allowance that were being given, and I would say that is the foundation. So I will buy fabric. Now, at every point in time, I ensure that my capital is not touched, and I ensure that I have a better today than yesterday. And I never went for luxury, even though I went for the best of fabrics as I could find then, to make sure that at least it satisfied my clients. Until today, if you look at my trajectory, my history, I have always invested in the business first, before I can get anything for myself. I remember a particular guy, my friend in America, in Easton, Hussein. He brought a Rolex wristwatch, I think about in 2011. And he said, everybody's wearing Rolex wristwatch. That he will give me for half the price. I told him something that when it's time, I will buy as many as I want. But right now, I cannot afford, not that I cannot buy it, but I couldn't afford it because there are other priorities that has to deal with the business as it were then. So that was when we got our place, if you know our place on Majera State in Maitama. So we put the whole money there. And I think the money we invested in was about 12 million naira. And today, you know what the 12 million naira has, metamorphosed into. So by and large, what I'm trying to say to the young people in their 20s, when you are in your 20s, it is the time for you to lay foundation, for you to invest your time, your money, your effort. And if you do that, you find out that by the time you enter your 30s and 40s, all you do is just for you to consolidate on those foundations that you have laid. So the cars, the luxury cars will come. The Lamborghinis of this world will come. The Cullinan of this world will come. But most importantly, try and invest in your business. And at every point in time, for me, the place of my business is always bigger than my house. And my business should be able to take care of my rent, all my expenses. Not that at the end of a year, I will now start looking for rent, instead of me to have planned it over the period of 12 months.
Wow. So, this for me, I'm so excited, you sharing the story with us. Before we go, I just want to ask, I noticed that your sons, each time I come, they're always there. When school is not in session. In fact, one of the first time I came to your office, you were taking the measurement and your son was writing. And, when I got into the car, I was telling my friend, I said, sometimes there's this connection between a family man and a great businessman. When people in that setting, they tend to do very well because whatever you do in your family, right, at home, in this case now, rub off on your business. So what advice will you have for famous people, and then of course those who are looking to be famous, in terms of being a good family man? Let me put it that way.
Okay, for me, I've always picked interest in creating a life of balance. Now, a life of balance in such that the home front, the work, and your social life, you find a way to manage and marry them together. I think I learned this from my mentor, Masushita of blessed memory. That's the founder of Panasonic and National.
Wow. Okay.
And especially the Japanese culture, and that is their culture. Now, I want them to understand the process from this early stage, so that when tomorrow comes, they won't think that this money is just there for spending. They will see money as a tool to invest, money as a tool to make more money, and money as a tool to enhance growth, and money as a tool to even bless humanity. And that is why I take joy in taking them to my beginning, to where I started from.
Yeah.
There was a particular video I made of them, taking them there and then showing them, this is my foundation, this is my beginning, and this is the amount. And they shout, wow, I will give you money. Yeah, you are going on excursion. I always escort you to bring money back. You can't spend all the money. Yes, it's your money, but you can't spend all the money. Yes, you can do 1 or 2 expenses, buy your chocolate, buy what you need, but the culture of you returning money, for me, it's valid. If you remember the story of the talents in the Bible, the one he gave 1 talent, 1 5, 1 2. The one with 1 talent came back and said, oh, you are a hard master, that you sow where you do not reap or sow.
Yeah.
So, and you know how the master now rebuked him. Yeah. So now, by and large, at every time, what I do is still investing in them. We are talking about investment.
Absolutely.
You are investing time, investing culture, and then investing the lessons of life into them at this age, so that when they grow, they will not depart from it.
Wow, fantastic. You know, there was something you said about reinvesting. You know, one of my earlier videos, I talked about, you know, when you make income from your investment, you reinvest it.
Yes.
And there's also what you talked about now, which is one of the videos I made where I said, be intentional in your investment. You know, because I can't go into fashion because Seyi is into fashion. It's not probably it's not my calling, but because people say, oh, he's making it big, go into fashion. So I think that everybody should, you know, one of the things that people should take away from your story is that you can be unique in anything you do. You know. So before I go, let me ask this. So does any of your son or any of your children have the interest in following daddy's footsteps?
Ironically, it's my sons that has projected, but I think my daughter.
Wow.
Yes. From what I've seen till date, I think my daughter.
Wow. So guys, you heard it all. I mean, I am so excited, you know, not just because this story appealed to you guys there, but because of the fact that the man has taken his time, you know, out of his busy schedule to share his story. I hope we all learn from it. Till next time, till we meet again, this is your investment advisor, Chuka Nwachukwu. Stay tuned. Thank you, and bye-bye for now. Boss, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Alpha.
This is special.
Oh God. I say it's chief of staff. He don't have to be louder.
No, we need to.
You have to put him. He has to be on the camera.
Absolutely. Please.
Okay, nice to meet you. Well done, man. Well done, brother. Well done. Alpha.